New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this. And that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? This is Tin Man with the Resistance. If you're watching this, you are the Resistance. So, a child falls into a gorilla sanctuary at a Cincinnati zoo and has an encounter with a silverback gorilla. Now, the gorilla interacts with the child. Seems like it's genuinely concerned, then drags it to a few locations around the sanctuary, maybe to protect it from the other gorillas or whatnot, I don't know, but zoo attendants felt that the child was in legitimate danger for his life, so they shot and killed the gorilla, which in turn pissed a whole shit ton of people off. So, I gotta give my thoughts and opinions on this matter. First of all, the anger felt by the general public on this issue with the gorilla having been shot is understandable, and for several reasons. One, the gorilla shouldn't have been shot. It should have been trained. Now, they had enough time to make the decision, and they agreed to kill the gorilla, stating that there wasn't enough time. Okay, well, if you've got time to debate the decision, you've got time to grab a tranq gun, shoot the gorilla, and knock his ass out. They have extremely strong tranquilizers, even the equivalent of elephant tranquilizers, at these zoos, specifically for situations such as this. So, tell me again why there was a need to kill the gorilla versus tranquing it and getting the child to safety. Now, I understand the gorilla was dragging the child around, but I've seen the video. The gorilla looked genuinely concerned for the kid, helped him pull his pants up, helped him out a little bit, looked like he was making sure the kid was okay. He did drag the kid a few places around the sanctuary, but I honestly don't think that the gorilla had any intention of doing the child harm. At which case, if the child was in any danger, real danger from this gorilla of it causing harm, the gorilla would have just trampled his ass. We've seen how gorillas fight. They flail their arms around, slam things around. The gorilla wasn't doing that. He didn't slam the child around. He didn't go boom, boom, boom on the kid. So I don't think that the gorilla had any intention of doing the child harm. But again, even if the child was in danger from this gorilla, which it probably was, they should have just grabbed the tranq guns, which they have on site all over these facilities, shot him with tranq, and the gorilla would have been out in a matter of minutes, if not instantly, depending on the type of tranq you used. Now, many people are arguing that the security protocols are not that great at this zoo. That the barricades to keep people out of these enclosures should have been better. Well, here's a question for you. There are no barricades or any such nonsense at locations such as the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls. And you don't have very many issues with people falling into the Grand Canyon or over the falls, now do we? Granted, there are some instances where it happens, but that's as a result of negligence of parents or just sheer stupidity of people, which is the case anywhere and is no different here. Doesn't matter how much security you have or how high the barricades are, kids will be kids. They will find a way to get around and do what they do, which is get themselves into trouble. I deal with kids every day. I know firsthand that kids can and are a handful. And you got to keep a firm eye on them. And I'm in agreement with the general public on targeting the mother here, because as the mother, it is her responsibility to keep an eye on the child. Again, I understand that kids can be a handful, and you take your eyes off them for 1 second, all hell can break loose. I understand that, and I'm not going to begrudge anybody for that. But as a parent, or even somebody who interacts with children on a daily basis, it's common knowledge that you got to take precautions. You got to be ready for these type of situations. And the way I personally see it, it was a young child. So if you have the money to go to a zoo, you have the money to go down to Walmart and pick yourself up a child leash. At which point, if the child tries to get away from you and do something potentially stupid or dangerous, he's on a leash, pull him back. Pure and simple. I think more parents should use the child leashes. They were very big back in the 90s and early 2000s with parents, and I think that needs to come around again. Start putting your little kids on child leashes. That way you stand a substantially less chance of them getting into harmful situations. So yeah, I do blame the mother for her negligence in this. And as a result, an intelligent, beautiful animal had to die because the mother didn't do her job. But then again, I don't place the blame solely on the mother. Again, going back to the tranquilizer thing. They didn't have to shoot the gorilla with bullets. They could have popped out the tranq guns, shot the gorilla, and he would have been out in a minute or two, if not less, depending on the level of tranq that they used. So, there is good reason as to why this gorilla shouldn't have had to die. I blame both the zoo attendants and the mother for this incident. Mothers need to be more mindful of their children and take precautions to make sure that their children do not get hurt. And the zookeepers need to not act rashly. And that's a big problem in this country, not just at the zoo. With the police, it's the same damn thing. Shoot first, ask questions later. Everybody's resorting to a gun as the first resort. I'm sorry. I am very much pro-gun. I am very much pro-Second Amendment. But a gun and taking a life, whether human being or animal, should be the last resort. That doesn't matter whether you're civilian, zookeeper, cop, security guard, FBI, whatever. Killing someone or something and taking a life should be a last resort. Okay? There are other methods to employ. There is substantial training that is given to law enforcement, to zookeepers, to security, and even to the general public on how to protect yourselves and others without the use of lethal force. Bullets and taking someone's life should always be a last resort. Why? Because we need to have more value on human life. And we need to have more value on life in general. Just because it's an animal doesn't mean that its life is any less precious. Now, I'm not trying to go all pro-vegan on everybody here. I'm just pointing out that needlessly killing anyone or anything is just that, needless. You need to explore the other options first. Okay? As a cop, you don't need to shoot first and then employ the other tactics. You don't, and the same goes with everybody else. Do not use the shoot first, ask questions later bullshit. I'm tired of it. It's causing way too much fucking problems. And it needs to fucking stop. Fucking think! Pure and fucking simple. Fucking stop and think. Okay? There's no reason that gorilla had to die. There's no reason that the victims of cop killings need to die. Life is way too precious. If people out there can't understand the value of human life, then you're a part of the problem and not the solution. And again, I want to reiterate, I am not saying or even implying that I am anti-Second Amendment or anti-gun. I am very pro-Second Amendment and very pro-gun. But there has to be a balance. You have to exercise caution. You have to exercise restraint. You have to use this before you pull that fucking trigger. There's always another way. Okay? There are extenuating circumstances. But this incident at the zoo was not one of them. Parents, get a better handle on your kids. If you can't handle your kids, don't have kids. Okay? I deal with kids on a daily basis. You know, Lucid is a father. He's got kids. So I live with them. But I don't have kids of my own. Why? Because I don't feel that I have what it takes to be a parent. I don't have the patience. I don't have the dedication. I don't have what it takes to be a parent. And I fully admit that. And we need more people like that, because there are a lot of people in this world who, for one reason or another, are not qualified to be parents. And I feel that as a result of what had happened at this Cincinnati zoo, the mother of this child is not fit to be a parent, because if she were, she would not have allowed this to happen. The child was a small child. It would have taken him some time to climb over the security railings and fall into that enclosure. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's plenty of time for the mother to actually catch her child and stop it from happening. And even if she didn't have time, she could have taken the precautions, gone down to fucking Walmart before going to the damn zoo, pick up a child leash. That way, her child couldn't get away from her for something like this to have happened. Pure and fucking simple. I don't even think I can say any more on this without repeating myself over and over again. Tin Man out.